All right. Hi, everybody. We're back. Waiting for Chazz so we can go live. Hey.
Yeah.
I don't know if I saved it. It was asking me to like download it and post it or something. I'm hoping that, I know I posted it. Whether I saved it or not, I have no idea.
Yeah. Well, good. It went away so fast for me.
Yeah, it was like boom.
Yeah.
So it's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody's coming back. They're logging back in. But yeah, that was the thing. We definitely he had his moment. It was hilarious. You know, he was just like, I'm gonna get every single inch of everything that I want to say in these 3 minutes. I think he didn't make it past 2 minutes, but he felt better. So that's all that mattered, you know?
Right.
Let's see. We're getting everybody in because we're gonna start doing these questions. All right, you ready?
Let's make sure before as more people are like jumping on. I don't know if all like 11 or 12 before it turned off. Let's just make sure if like we didn't answer a question, because I feel like I think in some ways we may have indirectly answered a lot of questions.
Yeah, because I think I was reading some of them and then just throwing it in.
Yeah.
So I know I took a picture of one, but I think you answered it about, hi, Nanny Broker. She's like, we're back.
But if you don't feel like we've answered your question, then maybe just put it again right here if you don't feel like we've answered it. And then, Kim, we can, if there's any questions that you see, we can just start answering them kind of right now.
Okay. So I know Marley said, yes, that's the less way to have the tantrums. We talked about empowering kids because Elizabeth brought that up, and I think you mentioned it. Like, yes, it does empower them. Let me see. I think that's the only one. Hey, hi, Miss Monique.
I think there was a question. I don't know if I think it was Fiery Chick. I feel like I indirectly answered it, but I just want to be like more like clear in me answering. It was about like behavioral need as opposed to developmental need. I'm going to say it because I really do feel like it's important and it's something that kind of helps guide me. It was one of those things that when I figured it out, it just really helped me a lot. You really want to, see the behavior and understand that the behavior is a form of communication. Figure out what, that behavior is communicating, what need that behavior is communicating. And fulfill that need in the moment, and then also long-term teach them how to fulfill the need themselves. So, let's say, I know we talked about the running. Maybe, they have a lot. I think you actually mentioned they had a lot of, extra energy. Maybe they're, extra rowdy. The behavior is maybe they're running around, they're jumping on things a lot. Children need, I think you said your child was maybe like 5. Children need a lot of physical activity. So if they're not getting that daily physical activity, then that's something that you can increase. And maybe they are having physical activity, but that, your specific child needs maybe more than the average person. I would also look into, I would also want one resource that I tell people a lot about for rainy days is Go Noodle. It is all about, it's something that's on, it's an app, but it's also a website you can go to, but it's all about getting, your children up and moving through like songs and different activities, and they're really silly, and you can find, it's very user friendly, and there's, different channels that you can find that your child really likes, but it's all about getting them up and moving. And a 5-year-old can navigate that website. I know I've taught 4-year-olds to navigate that website, or really they've taught themselves because they enjoyed it so much. Um, but
Yeah.
I hope I answered your question, fiery chick. And if I think you're still in there, and if I have, just give me a yes. If I have not, then give me a no, and then tell me what I didn't answer. I'll let you go, Kim.
Okay. So I think
Oh,
those are all great things because, we definitely we want their needs to be met. We want them to be heard. I can't express enough that we really want them. She said, "Yep, you answered." So we want them to be heard. We want to make sure that they know that you're listening to them and that you understand what they need until they get better at doing it themselves, and also repeat back to them what you see that they enjoy. Like, I see that you liked when I did this. How did you feel? And
mhm.
figure out what it is, because then you repeating it back to them lets them know how to put it in words for next time. So what you did was you helped them to understand what it was that they were feeling. You helped them understand how to express it. And then you also gave them a sense of, they got me. I made my point. Because then they know that next time, and then you can even say, next time, just say, "Hey, mommy, this is what I want," or Nanny Chazz, this is what I want. So then they'll go into this is what I want. My daughter does it to me. She goes, "Did you hear what I said? I said I want some ice cream, and I said please." Like,
It's the magic word, right?
like you always say please, so I'm just like, this kid, what am I going to do with her? But she takes it in. They take it in. And if you're repetitious over and over and over, and you keep doing it, they'll get it, and you'll see that they'll start to give it back to you. You may not like it when they give it back, but then you teach them about tone. Like, hey, I love that you're expressing yourself, but it's the tone in which you say. Ask nicely. You don't have to say it so rough. So yeah, I think that those are things that we definitely. Hi, Nikita. Nikita's back. Hi, Abby. So I think that that's great. Kimberly is saying, "I'm a hairstylist. I work from home, and every time I have my client, my 2-year-old, has behavior of screaming. I taught him to use his words, and he just screams. What do I do?" Well, I think when you have a child that is screaming and you're teaching them to use their words, you still have to reiterate and help them to decipher what those words should be, because sometimes they don't know what words to use. So screaming at them and saying, "Hey, use your words, use your words." Well, guess what? He's 2. He doesn't know the words to use. So this is what I was just saying, a couple minutes ago. My daughter will say to me, "Well, I said please," or "I said this is what I want," but she knows to say those things because I say them to her over and over. "Well, hey, do you want ice cream or do you want this?" I give them options to figure out and let them figure out what it is that they want. So in the middle of the screaming, the first thing that you need to do is, I won't say take control of that situation, but calm down the screaming so they can actually hear you. So a lot of times what I'll say to my 2-year-old, because that is when they're going through that time of, let me scream so people can hear me. And I'll say to her, "Mommy can't hear you if you're screaming, and I really want to help you. Like, I really want to give you what you want, and like, it hurts me when you're not getting what you want. So how about we both take a deep breath? I make it fun, and I do a silly breath, and she's like, she just starts laughing because she's like, okay, now we're doing this." And so I take her attention off of the screaming and what she's not getting, just so I can redirect her long enough to get her what she wants. And I think that, that's one of those tricks that you kind of have to practice a little bit, because it can be frustrating for you when you have to figure out how you're feeling while they're screaming at you. But I think it's really important to put your personal adult feelings aside to get them to get what they want. So then they'll feel like they're being heard, and then they can go on a little bit better. So
and I would argue, or I would guess that what your child's behavior is communicating, at least in that time, that your child is probably just is wanting, maybe your child's used to, it just being you and the child. They want your attention or connection at that time. And I think what helps with that, along with what Kim said, and along with validating their emotions, is also, preparing them for what's going to happen. That, like, letting them know that someone, mommy's gonna do hair during this time, and just know that, I afterwards we're gonna do this. We're gonna go outside together. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. And the third. Another thing you can do, if it's feasible, and I don't know, a lot of 2, 3-year-olds, 2, 3, 4, 5-year-olds love to be like little helpers. So if it's feasible, even if it's something so little as her holding a hair clip for a little, so if you're just holding something and like, oh, your mommy's a little helper. And that way you're able to kind of meet her need, but also do what you need to do at the same time. If that's feasible, like, I would definitely suggest, doing that too. And you can even say like, oh, well, you can even put her on a task. They just like to feel like they're helping, or they're like a part of things sometimes. So that may also help too.
okay.
Also, Elizabeth asked, any suggestions on teaching kids money management? My nephew today told me, when I get money, I want to spend it right away. I have no patience to save. Curious on your feedback. He's 10 years old. I mean, I actually have, and I'd be interested to hear your thoughts are on this too, Kim, but I am a big fan of, especially for older children, of doing those kind of, well, here's my first question. Do they have money? Have they shown that? Like, I think what helped me learn how to save, first, this is coming from something where, like, my own experience. I used to get paid like and here the trash thing's coming up again. I used to get paid $5 a week or something like that, just like to take out the trash and to do, X, Y, Z, and then like a few other things, right? So, but the thing I wanted was a video game. That was my interest. So I would, and video games around then, and so about like $50, $60. So I would literally have to save for X amount of weeks. Sometimes, every once in a while, I might spend it on like renting a game or something like that. But I would save. I really wanted to buy the game, so that was my incentive for me to save for the thing that I wanted. So what I would say is I would do something similar, and I've seen it. I've done it in a classroom environment. I've seen, many parents do this kind of thing with success. And it can also help in other things too that you want your 2-year-old to do, like maybe doing the dishes and maybe vacuuming, maybe even little things like getting the mail or things like that. And, understand, figure out what they want. It's something that isn't within, like, maybe it's something like a $30 or maybe $50, something like that. And then give them and chart how well they do. So that way that they're also learning, like, okay, like, I'm working hard for this thing. I'm working hard to get this paycheck. And you can I'm a big fan of using like adult kind of words, like, okay, you're going to get your paycheck on Friday. I might even say, okay, it's going to be direct deposited into your account. You can even load it up into a card, but I really like the more tangible, like, see the money. I want them to feel the money in their hands. So they really, it's more of a visual thing that just, I think, helps all of us, even like me. It helps me. It hurts a little bit more to hand over the cash than to just swipe the card. So, I would do something like that. I would create a chart, let them see it, set those expectations. Hey, you're gonna get a job now. I'm going to give you money. And I'm like, I know you really want to work towards, this thing. Maybe you bring it up on Amazon or something because we're not going in stores right now because of COVID, whatever it is. But really, get them to focus on that thing that they want and how much money it is, and like talk to them about how long it's going to take for them to save up to get that thing. Also, and maybe you want to start off a little bit smaller, something that's like, $20. I don't know. I could talk a lot more in depth if I knew exactly what your 10-year-old's interest area was. But maybe you start off small and then you kind of build it up. Maybe it's a $20 thing they're working towards, and then it's a $40 thing they're working towards. And you could give them cash, or you could give something symbolic for them to see how they're progressing. And I think that really builds those kind of that part of their brain is like, okay, like I'm saving to work towards something long, as opposed to just the instant gratification. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, she did say that he wants a phone.
Oh,
He wants a phone. She asked him how much the phone is, and he said he didn't know. But I think all the things that you said are great. I would add that most 10-year-olds are super competitive. If you can find a way to make it a competitive thing, I think that'll help his drive to be a little bit better. I would also say I used to do like a lot of visual things. So I would do like the thermometer. This is the goal. How much have you saved? And, like we would do different things. Like for my daughter, she loved to read. And at one point I was in school. And so I wanted her vocabulary to get better. I had a purpose that I wanted to meet, and she wanted money. So my goal was, I'm in school, and she was, I think 12 or 14 at the time, 1 and 2. And so I would make her read my college books to me. For every page that she read, she got $1. For every page that she read, and she could tell me some of the comprehension that she learned from it, she got an extra $1. And that was how she made her, her allowance, like, because she already was cleaning up or doing things around the house. So, we just had to make it where I got something out of it as well. Like, I didn't have to read my books. She read to me while I was cooking or doing something, and she actually was learning reading comprehension. So you have to figure out what it is, and then try and meet their need, but meet it in a way where it's not that you're just giving it to them. At 10, I'm sorry, you should not just be giving them just because they want it. It should be something that they feel like they accomplished and that they work for. And hopefully, that helps. Even if it's, it's a phone, it's expensive. So maybe if you make half of it, we'll meet the other half or something like that. But you don't want it to be, I will tell you, you don't want it to be a long, drawn out thing. Because if you make it too long, they're going to lose interest. And then you've lost the teachable moment. You've completely lost it. So, so yeah, let me see what questions we have, because people were asking us questions and I don't want to forget them. So I don't know, Marley, are you online? Are you here?
I saw her hop on earlier, but I don't know if
she's. I saw her on earlier, and hopefully we'll be able to like save this too, just in case she missed it. But she was asking some questions about what suggestions do you have for a family that will establish routines when a new baby joins? And I really, really wanted to tackle that because she was saying her current issue is coming in October, and that's soon. And then she was talking about can you talk about the importance of routine, but also the importance of teachable flexibility, which I think we kind of hit on that a little bit. Being teachable and flexible. When you have a routine, routines are kind of in its place, but the schedules you're more flexible with. I think we hit on that earlier, but I want to go to the baby. When you have if you have pets in your house, if you have children in your house, you need to prep them for the baby.
Yes.
I can tell you, my God, the monstrosities that I've seen hands-on in person, where a person was pregnant, didn't tell their kid, and then came home with a baby. That was the worst experience ever for the mother, for the newborn. The newborn was getting beat up every day. I mean, it was a accident waiting to happen. Prep the kids, make them feel like they're a part of what's going on. This is a part of the family. This is a new person that's coming into the house. A new person is coming into the family. Do not surprise them. Prep them, get them ready. I did a whole show with actually Ask the Nanny for U.S. Nanny Association. If you're not a member of U.S. Nanny Association, join it, because they are great parent webinars on there. We did a whole show just on how to prep your pets for a newborn. A whole show, because it takes a whole show. If we can take a whole show just on how to prep your pet, that's a whole nother topic. Prep your kids. Get some books. Let them understand. If you have to buy them, some, movies or something that talks about, like, that has kids getting a new baby, in the house, and the catastrophes that happened, the baby was crying, and just like you do, like people do fire drills. Like, I literally think it's so cool when you have kids to get you like a crying something and put it on in the middle of the night. See if your kids sleep through it and see if they don't. Like, you gotta let them know what the real is. The real is this kid is going to wake you up. It may feel uncomfortable. They may annoy you.
I like that.
They you gotta like treat it like it's a game. You never know when you're gonna be waking up. It could be in the middle of the night. It could be any time. When you wake, when the baby cries and you wake up, what do we do? We're gonna get bottles. What are you like? Literally, let them feel like they're a part. Because when the baby comes, if you're like, no, don't touch that. That's for the baby. No. Oh no, put your hands on it. It's dirty. You can't get a baby. Like, you're gonna make them hate that kid. They're going to think that this kid has come in and ruined my whole entire life. This house used to be fun. It was the 3 of us. It was the 4 of us. We had a great time. And now I have this kid and I'm stuck with him all summer or all fall or whatever.
And they're taking away all the attention from my parents. It used to be just me. Yeah.
I mean, make it fun for them, but definitely don't surprise them. Try and make it as fun as possible, especially because they're going to be, it's natural for a child to be nervous when another baby is coming. Not just nervous for where do they fit in the house and what would their role be as a bigger sibling, but mom is going into a hospital, and that may not have ever happened in their life. You're going to be gone. And you need to explain to them that, you'll be back. You need to explain to them what happens when we go to the hospital and, what that looks like. If you're having a home birth, you really need to do some explaining, because they're going to see, So however you have your plan, I tell people all the time, make a birthing plan. Make a birthing plan and include your children in that plan. Take them to a trip to the hospital. You can literally go to a hospital and go up on the baby ward and let them see the kids. Let them experience what it's like. If you have a younger sibling, like a cousin that has a baby, let the baby come and spend a night one night so they can experience what it is. Let them help prep the bedroom. If you're going to paint, if you're going to put up new baby furniture, let them help pick. Let them help pick a color. There are so many things that you can do to get kids ready, but whatever you do, include them and prep them and make it fun.
I'm such a big fan of everything you just said, Kim. I like love the idea of like making it a game and making it fun. Like, I love like the fire drill idea. Like, I love that. And I would also add, after the child is born, also continue making the older sibling a part of helping it take, because you're going to be spending a lot of time realistically, you probably will be spending more time with that, you know, that newborn, because you know that newborn is going to need more than your 2 or your 3-year old who's, you know, and maybe even potty trained. So the things that they can do, even if it's something as simple as like, you know, can you go like grab a diaper or just grab anything that you feel comfortable that they can do. And again, you know, it's about giving them as much power as you can to make them feel a part of it, like they're taking care of their little brother or sister too. Like will do wonders. So
It'll
yeah.
go a long way. You'll thank us later. You will. Um, then strategies for going back to school routine when the pandemic is over.
I would honestly, what my advice was gonna be your same advice for the preparing for the baby. Make it fun. Make it like play school. Like pretend like you're going through the day, like you're going through circle time. You can make it playful. It doesn't have to be 100% accurate. Don't make it stressful or anything like that. But like, oh, like it's outside time. Like go, and also too, like part of that might be you reaching out to your, you know, preschool and learning what their routine is, so you can kind of get a little what their schedule is, because they probably have a schedule, and trying to have, you know, routines that kind of fit with that, and kind of a rhythm that fits with it. You don't have to be perfect on the dot and like by the minute by the schedule, but just to give you an idea of kind of the order of the day, and play it out. Like have fun, like you sit there and do a circle time and do however, you know, if they're going to a Montessori school, like, you know, get like try to play that out, so then when they go into it, it will help them kind of process the change a little bit better. They'll know what to expect, which
Yeah.
is a big theme in what we're kind of talking, what our live has been about, of helping them kind of know what to
Yeah.
expect. That's what I would say in terms of helping them to prepare. And obviously, like just generally talking to them about it, like having just conversation about it, and letting know when the day's gonna, you can do like a countdown, something visual that will work. Numbers may not work because they may not understand the symbols, but even if you have like something visual, like, oh, the red is going out, the red, it's almost time, or maybe something that's going up. However it is, however visually appealing for your child to kind of see when it is coming, and kind of like feeling out what it's going to be like. Even that 2-hour nap can be, you know, challenging for children who are used to, maybe they don't have a nap, they don't have any downtime or rest time at home, because, you know, the home, you know, schedule or routine, it looks very different. So that's how I would kind of prep and prepare them, or your child, to go back to a school environment.
And now let me play devil's advocate right there.
Okay,
I agree
love
with
it.
everything that you said, but then we're also going to go back to when we said know your child, because I'm thinking in my head of some children that I've nannied and some children that I know that have a super high stress level. They are high strung and very stressed because usually they get it from their parents. If you're a worry wart, everything is doom, you're going to have a kid that if you're making it exciting, they're going to be like, but if I go to school, then the pandemic will happen again, and then I'll have to come home again. And then, like, you have kids that are like that. They can't help themselves. Those children, you got to prep them a little bit different. You can't have all of those charts and do countdowns, because for them, it's fear, 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 fear. What you're going to have to do is slowly coax them in. And if that looks like, hey, we're going to take it at your pace. You're going to go to school on this day, but we'll maybe do an hour first. We'll go and we'll let you do a half a day. We're not going to throw you back into school and then just hope that you can make it through the day. And you have to be prepared to get that call from the teacher to say, he's freaking out, she's freaking out, I think you need to come and get him. And not be upset with them, because what they have just experienced is scary to them. And you know, you have like kids that are clinging to their mom. You go to the bathroom and they're sitting at the door. They're like, are you in there? Are you okay? It's usually because they're afraid and you haven't dealt with the process yet. You haven't told them why they're home. You haven't explained to them because you're trying to keep them safe, and you haven't really told them what's going on. So the kids have gone through a new year, a pandemic where everyone got sick with COVID. People in your family may have passed from the COVID. Like, let's not forget that people have been dying left and right this year. They haven't seen their friends. They're doing the classes on Zoom, or they have a new routine. And now, all of a sudden, everything is back to normal. Oh, you can go back to school now. If you haven't talked to them, they haven't processed. And if they're clinging to you by the skin of their teeth, and you're trying to figure out what is wrong with this kid that never used to be like that, they're dealing with something and you haven't helped them. So to not help them and then send them to school it's not doing them any justice. So you have to take the time to really reflect on, have we dealt with what's going on in our house and what's going on outside before we send them back to school. If you haven't, then you need to not send them back when it starts. You need to delay it a little bit, or you need to get on it right away, because these are signs that they haven't dealt with it, and to send them back to school is going to be a problem because they're going to have separation anxiety. And what happens when they have separation anxiety is you're never going to get them to calm down once they get to school. They're not going to learn. They cannot process because the only thing they're thinking about is something bad is going to happen. So to start dealing with them and making it exciting for them is too much overload because they haven't dealt with the process of understanding what's happening. And that's where I am with that. And it's only because I've dealt with children that are super high strung. Like I had a kid, we did swimming classes every week, but every week before swimming class, he would literally get the bubble guts and have to go to the bathroom. And afterwards, he was like, I'm fine. He would go to swim class and be like, I loved it. We had the best time. Then next week, he would go through it all again. And he was like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I can't. And it took weeks of us doing this. And he was like, I don't know why. I hate it. I don't know why you make me go. But we had to literally walk him through it. I would walk him to the door of the swim class, and you couldn't go in the room, in the pool area. Only the kids would go. And he would cling to me. You'll be here when I get back. I was so scared. Like, calm down. We had to really, really take him through this every single week. And so if you have a child like that, to give them all of this energy and build it up, you're taking them to a place, yes, that high strung, anxious, like you're taking them to a place that they're not used to. So you need to deal with that before you have to take them back to school, because those children, they won't do well with the buildup. You have to make it as normal for them as possible. Like, hey, we're just going to the grocery store and I'm going to drop you off at school. Once school is over, I'll pick you back up and we'll go back to life as normal, like we normally do. Like don't soup them up because you'll never get them out of the house. So I will say that about that.
No, yeah, no, I feel that, and I wholeheartedly agree. Hey, anything, and like you said, it all comes down to knowing your child. I think we're all children, just like us adults are all very different human beings, and everything starts with knowing your child, knowing what that child's behavior is communicating, and
Yeah.
then from that place, then you know how to meet the need that they have.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I fully agree.
Yeah. Oh, see, she's saying she's a special ed power professional, and that she understands that's coming from a lot of her students. And yeah, you do have some children that are just really high strung and anxious, and you have to go about it differently. But I think that what I'm saying, and even what Chazz is saying, they will both work. Both will work equally. Just figure out which one will work best for your child, and then use that. But I think really reading them and letting them know, like, if you're not comfortable in school today, I can pick you up early today. Because some of them will say, like, no, I'm good. I want to go. Like, I miss my friends. I want to be there all day. Like, you can come late. you know, and then there are some that's like, Mom, by lunch, I'm going to be ready. Like, I can't do the 2-hour nap, or you know, have them stay for part of the nap. When I started, I actually started my daughter at nap time. I did morning with her, and then I brought her in for nap so that she could start getting new snap and do the afternoon. Because I found that when she went in the morning, by nap time, she was just like, okay, call my mom. I'm ready to go. So.
And two, I would also add that, like, as you're doing whatever you do decide to do, as you're doing it, you want to constantly be observing and talking to, you know, the teachers, or, you know, whoever that child, whatever situation that child, you want to be really constantly like monitoring and observing.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it could be going well maybe the first 2 days, and then something switches. You just really need to continuously kind of like just pay attention. Observation and is how you're going to figure out exactly what that need is and what your child needs at that time. Because again, needs can change too. You know, your child could process something or see something that you don't even think twice about, or hear the news or something like that that you don't even think twice about, or even a commercial, something in the car, and it can like impact the way that they're processing how it's going on. So no, yeah, I think constantly, you always want to constantly observe and kind of to figure out what's going on and how they're processing things, to figure out what to do, how to kind of proceed.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Them processing, helping them process that emotion is going to be super important. I think that's one of the things that we've been saying over and over, is processing this emotion, preparing them. So I know that I had a question, and then I think we kind of answered a lot of them. We might want to read some of, you want to read some of the things that people are saying?
Yeah, I think I think people were commenting on what you're saying and just like relating to, like, yeah, like I'm high strung, like I feel that.
Yeah.
I don't think there are any more questions. And I also think that we're not too far off from going over again.
Yeah, I think we're done. I just want to answer this one last question that we had.
Yeah.
We didn't hit it. And it is a question that was asked the other day by the nanny agent. I didn't see her on, but she was saying, how do you handle it when parents have a different idea of what the routine should be? And I did want to touch on that. And then I think we're going to kind of end there. You're welcome. She's like, thanks for sharing. Like, literally, when you are a nanny, you work for a family, it's going to be important for you to work out a lot of things when you first do your interview, when you first sign your contract. And when you have parents that want a different routine, you need to sit down with them. You need to say, this is the age that this child is at. This is where they should be in development, because development is the main thing that as a nanny you have to know about in child development and working with them at home. So you want to make sure that whatever schedule this is that the parents are implementing, if it's different from what you're implementing, but it gets the same, I guess, outcome, developmental wise, see what works. I think as a parent wants what's best for their child, and as a nanny, you want to do what's best for the child. And I feel like at some point when you have differences of opinion, you have to err on the side of what is best for the child. Does it meet the needs that they have? Are they going to reach their developmental milestones? If they're not, explain it to the parent. If we do more of this, they will get to this milestone. And that's my job. My job is to get them to their milestone. Find out why the parent doesn't want to do what you're suggesting. Because as a nanny, you really should be bringing the parent and sitting down with them and saying, this is the schedule I kind of have. Like, I used to do stuff like, hey, this is the schedule I have for the month. We're going to go to the library on this day to read a book. We're going to do arts and crafts here with our friends. We're going to the park on this day. Hey, IHOP is having pancake day. We're going to get some pancake. Like, my kids knew International Pancake Day, we're there. Like, it's like, you know,
I'm there too.
so yeah, so I mean, you know, the parents may be like, listen, pancakes don't have anything to do with their child development. Hey, it teaches them how to go out, how to have social settings and be okay in social settings. It teaches them how to order. When they order, they feel like they're in control of what they're eating. Like, you can sell it if you know what you're talking about.
Right.
So if it's
I was about to add other things too, right? You know, even like the practical life skills on top of what you said of just learning to, you know, cut their pancakes. You can talk about, oh, we're gonna do fractions. Like, you can really
you can sell it,
yeah.
whatever it is. But I mean, as long as it's not like you're just kind of sitting around doing nothing and the parent is like, hey, I want you to do some more with my kid, you can't complain. Just do more. Figure out what it is that more is. But if it's meeting child development skills, yeah, right, right, Liz, that's not, it's pancakes. Oh no, like pancakes. So I think that those things are good to hit, but the thing is, you want to work together with the parents. Yeah. I'm not one of those nannies that says, "Oh, quit your job, just quit, because we're adults and we should know how to work together. We should know how to get things done. We're there for the child. It's nothing personal. There's nothing personal about nannying. There's nothing personal about childcare. Your personal stuff should go to the side when it comes to the needs of the kids. So we have to figure out how to communicate and how to work together to get what we need for our children and to get that done. So, I mean, I'm good. I don't have anything else, and I think we answered everybody's questions.
I probably would like to add on to that just a little bit of, and you know, and I think you touched on to it. I may just say it in a different way, but I'm always a big fan of. You know, I always talk about you do have to match kind of your needs as an adult with what the child's needs are, and you know, at the end of the day, I would believe that both parents want what's best for the child, right? And some particular reasons why one parent may want one thing to happen at one time and one parent may want another thing. I do think that there's always middle ground there. And the North Star, like Kim said, is, you know, what's best for the child. If we can't agree on what is, you know, what we can't agree on what we want and include that into what the child's needs are, then let's just go with what the child's needs are. But I think that there always is a way to kind of compromise once you talk it out. At the end of the day, everyone wants what's best for the child. So I think just coming at it from that perspective and not even just a you're wrong or you're right, but like we all want what's best, and also being able to articulate why that pancake day is important or why, you know, it would be good to have lunch before the rest time. Being able to articulate those things really kind of help you in that conversation. So my biggest thing is match your needs as an adult, because our needs are important too. And if you don't take care of your, like, if your needs aren't met, then you're not going to be as good of a nanny as a parent or a teacher. So matching your needs with what the needs of the child are, but also don't forget the needs of the child and not just your needs, because sometimes you have
that's super important.
Life. So
yeah, I was saying that's super important. I agree. Thanks everybody for coming. I don't want us to get kicked out again. Thanks everybody for coming. This was such a fun night. You know, we've never done this before, but Chazz is super amazing, and I told him, I said, I have to introduce you to the nanny world and to, you know, my parents that, you know, I work with, and you know, we kindred spirits when it comes to really, you know, teaching and loving what we do. And we gave a lot of information. So if you missed anything, go back, Marley, I just saw you came in. We talked about your question with having the baby. We were saying get those babies ready. Like get them ready, include them in everything, let them know what's going on, do some baby crying fire drills in the middle of the night, wake them up with some whining and crying, and just let them be a part of everything. If you have pets, get the pets ready, like get them ready and really be, I can't say enough, be respectful of them. They're little humans. They have emotions, they have feelings. Teach them how to work with their emotions. That's what we're here for. We're here to prepare them for life. And you see so many people, they're not prepared for life. They're not prepared to handle their adult feelings. And these are humans with little bodies, but they have huge feelings and huge emotions. And it's our job to get them ready. So definitely, I know I wanted to say before we log off, I am going to sponsor somebody to go to Ask the Nanny. Tomorrow is having I think a mini portfolio. If you're a nanny and you're doing like some job search stuff and you want to go to her mini portfolio, DM me if you want to go, and I got you. And also tomorrow, if you are available and you're a nanny, we're going to be talking about, we're going to do a live tomorrow on Facebook.
You got a celebrity.
We'll be talking live tomorrow.
And I know, like, we have I don't know what it's like to be famous, so she may not like this, but I was just like, oh, yeah, we have a celebrity in our midst as we're about to log off. Krista Allen. She was
Hi, Krista.
13 going on 30. I don't know if that's embarrassing or if that's like not cool.
Oh my God.
But
I love that movie.
Thanks
for joining us, Krista. That's awesome.
We're going to do it again in 2 weeks.
Yeah, on the 19th, we'll be back at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. And we haven't decided what our topic is going to be, but I think we'll figure it out soon.
How you guys throw out topics to us, and that'll be part of our conversation as we pick it next time.
Yeah, that'll be great. Yeah. Oh. I love it. I love it.
You gotta like so much club. Man, we gotta I don't, you don't know how much like I appreciate that. I don't know. I guess I'm done. I'm sorry. I got flustered.
I love it. Everybody, we had a good crowd tonight. Everybody was talkative and answering questions. I felt really good about it. But I mean, we enjoy what we do. So this is a good thing, and we really appreciate everybody coming. We did a whole nother almost an hour. So that is like the beef of it, is really sitting here having it come to life, because we've been talking about it. Like, she's like, you're sweating.
Yeah. I'm gonna just walk away.
Chazz. So yeah, we're gonna be back on the 19th. I was saying tomorrow I have an event. You can check out my page. We're gonna have some nannies getting together talking about I guess being the Black nanny with what's going on, and just trying to bring some peace to our community and get everything done. But tonight was all about the parents and the nannies and our teachers, because we didn't want to leave you guys out, and we wanted to make sure that you are ready, because the summer is coming and some summer camps are not open, and you got to have them schedules and routines down, because the kids do not want to have them off their routine. So Nanny Broker, thank you. She put us in her schedule, and Nanny Cello. They were like, we're gonna be there.
Hey.
They do their show on Wednesdays, and when I tell you, I was like, look, Nannies of Atlanta, they need a talk show, like a show and everything. They are so funny, and they keep it real the whole night. So We're gonna log off, guys.
Bye, guys. Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Thanks for joining us. Check us out and make sure that you know what we're going to be talking about next. Hit us up with some ideas if you think, share this with your friends and all that good stuff.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Chazz. ATL. ATL. Y'all stay safe out there and down there at ATL.
All right.
All right. Let's see. How do I end? I don't know any of this stuff.